Hi yogis! Today we're going to focus on opening up your heart by stretching deeply into the shoulders and into the chest, working our way into a few back bends as well. You will need 2 blocks for our practice together. We're going to start off in supported fish pose. You want these blocks to go underneath the upper back and underneath the back of the head. So the first one should end up being in between the shoulder blades, and the second one should go underneath the back of your head so that your neck has some support. So just roughly place them down on your mat, and then you can lower your way down. I like to keep the blocks at the second height, but if that's too much, you can always lower them down a little bit closer towards the floor so it's less of an extension at the chest. And as you lower down, adjust the first block so that it really does end up being in between the shoulder blades, under the upper back, and the second block can go underneath the head. Legs can be straight out in front of you, or you can take a hip opener to start off by bringing the soles of the feet together to touch and let the knees fall apart. Since we are focusing quite a bit on the chest and upper body today, I'm going to extend my arms up overhead. Now this makes the stretch a lot deeper. If this is too much for you straight off the bat, just keep your arms alongside the body. You really don't need to go too deep into the pose just yet. As long as you can let the upper body relax on the blocks and the hips be heavy on the floor, you can breathe a little bit deeper into the chest so that the ribs open side to side, front to back, creating lots of space. Use your time in this pose to set your intention for your practice. So let's hold this pose for 5 more breaths or so. Really make the most of your time here. Soften any muscle that is still trying to work, or any part of your body that feels tense or tight. If you had your arms up overhead, you can start to slide the hands back down, bring the knees back in towards one another. And to make our way off of our blocks, we're actually just going to roll over to one side and take a seat. This can be either cross-legged or kneeling, whatever way is comfortable to you. And you can move your blocks to the side. We won't be needing them for the next little while anyway. Sitting up nice and tall, ground the sit bones to the floor. As you inhale, reach the arms up overhead, bring your palms together to touch. And as you exhale, release the fingertips back down. So we just want to get more mobility in the shoulders. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, press the shoulders down and release. Let's take one more. Inhale, lift up. Move into a side bend, bring your right fingertips down to the floor, reach your left arm up and over. Keep pressing your left shoulder down and away from the ear, and while you're here, let your neck relax. Head is heavy, so you'll get a little bit of a stretch into the left side of your neck, reaching through the fingertips. Inhale, and let's come all the way back to center, fingertips to the floor, side bend to the left. Inhale, reach the arms up, lift. And then exhale, left hand down, right arm extends up and over. Stretch tall through the right fingertips all the way down into that right hip, and draw the shoulder away from the ear. Let your head be heavy. Create space through the right side of your ribs. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale. Let's come all the way back up to center into our tabletop pose, hands and knees. Palms should end up being underneath the shoulders. Knees are underneath the hips. We'll take cat and cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl tailbone up. And as you exhale, round your spine, bring your chin to your chest, tailbone points down. A few more, go at your own pace. So follow the rhythm of your breath as we invite the spine to warm up so we can get a deeper extension in the chest and in the shoulders and upper back. Coming back into your neutral tabletop pose, let's walk our palms forward and bring the forehead down to the floor for your puppy stretch. So arms are straight. Pull the lower belly in to support the lower back. Press your chest towards your thighs. Let's walk the hands back in. We're going to come into our first downward dog. So palms should be about shoulder width distance apart, feet are hip width distance apart or so. Curl the toes under and lift your hips up and back. Bend the knees a little bit. See if you can lift your hips up and back a little bit more, reaching through the tailbone. Pressing firmly into the fingertips and knuckles. As you inhale, slowly ripple forward through to your plank pose. Reach your heart forward. And on the exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. We're going to point the toes back, lifting up to Cobra 3 times. So arms and back work here. Press the fingertips to the floor. As you inhale, slowly ripple up. Keep your hips and your legs planted to the floor. And as you exhale, melt the heart forward and down as you lower. 2 more times. Inhale, lift with control. Exhale, release. Last time, inhale, find space. Exhale to lower. Let's slide our forearms down to the ground. You're going to turn your left forearm, so it's about at a 45-degree angle or so. Bring your right fingertips next to the sides of your rib cage and then press the fingertips into the floor as you turn your right shoulder back and look up. So right hip is not lifting off the ground, it's staying pressing down. You're really just rotating through the chest and opening up through the heart. Try to pull the chest forward. Take 1 more breath. And exhale, slowly release. We'll switch sides. Bring your right forearm to the floor, about at a 45-degree angle or so. Left fingertips go beside you, and then press that hand into the floor to lift your chest up a little more. Draw your left shoulder down and away from the ear and look over that left shoulder. So both hip bones are still pressing to the floor. Nothing has changed from the navel down. Legs are slightly engaged. 1 more inhale through the nose. Exhale, release down. Let's reach our arms back along the sides of our body. Palms are facing down. Inhale, lift head, chest, and arms off the ground. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. And if your lower back feels pretty good, you can go ahead and lift the legs as well. Coming into locust pose, back of the neck is long, so there's no need to strain the neck. Try to create space from the crown of your head all the way back into the toes. Can you lift up a tiny bit more? And exhale, release. Let's bring our palms a little bit lower than our shoulders, so more towards the upper rib cage again. And we're gonna press up into our upward dog. So start by lifting up to Cobra, and then straighten the arms, engage the legs as you lift your hips off the floor. So we're pulling the chest forward, maybe lifting and looking up. Press firmly down into the tops of the feet. 1 more breath. And then exhale, hips lift you up and back to downward facing dog. Engage your core. Palms should still be about shoulder width distance apart. Feet are hip width distance apart. As you inhale, reach your right leg up towards the sky, bend your right knee, open up your hip nice and wide. Let's pull our knee in towards our chest and step that foot forward in between the palms. Lower your left knee down to the ground. For this low lunge, we're going to reach our arms up and then bend the elbows. We'll take our eagle arms. So right arm swings underneath the left, binding once or twice at the wrists. Shrug your shoulders away from the ears. Keep the elbows up, palms are away from the face. Tailbone anchors down, and as you press your hips forward and down, you're going to lift your elbows up towards the sky to find your back bend. Imagine you can lift the ribs up. No tension in the sacrum or in the lower back. Take one more breath. Core strength is needed to come back up. Unwind the arms, bring your palms flat to the ground. We're gonna kick our right heel up towards the sky, drop the belly, lift the gaze, look up, arching the back, and then pull your knee in towards your nose, bring it to touch. Step your right foot forward in between the hands once more, curl the back toes under, lift the left knee off the floor and come up into your high lunge. Right knee is bending. Left knee might need to bend a little bit as well. Let's bend the elbows at a 90-degree angle and just focus on squeezing your shoulder blades behind you so you get that nice opening and that nice stretch into the shoulders and at the front of the chest. Drop the hips a tiny bit lower. And let's re-extend the arms straight up, opening to warrior two. So left foot spins parallel to the shorter edge of your mat. Right knee is still bending generously, palms are facing down. Aligning your shoulders over the top of the hips. Let's reverse our warrior. So left hand down, right arm up. Nothing changes in the right leg. You're still bending deeply into that knee. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale to your extended side angle, maybe releasing the right fingertips down to the floor, to the inner edge of your right foot. Left arm extends up and over. If this is too much, you can just place a block underneath that right hand. Drop the hips a little more. Let's look down towards the floor and take our flow. So plant the palms. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Press into the heels, straighten the arms. And we'll go and do the second side. Left leg reaches up towards the sky. Bend the left knee and open up that hip nice and wide. Pull your knee in towards your chest. Ripple forward to plank so that you can step your left foot in between the hands. Right knee comes down to the floor, arms reach up. We'll take those same eagle arms, so the elbows will bend. This time it's left arm underneath your right, either binding once or binding twice. Tailbone reaches down, lower belly in. Press your hips forward and down, and from here, feel the lift of the upper back as you reach your elbows up. Breathing deeply into the chest and upper back. Keep pressing and hugging the forearms in towards one another. Use abdominal strength to come back, unwind the arms, palms come to the floor. We're gonna kick our left heel up towards the sky, arching the back, so dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, reach through your heel. And then pull your knee in towards your chest as you round the upper back. Step it forward, coming into your high lunge, toes curled under. Right knee lifts off the ground, arms extend up. Strong foundation in the legs. Can you bend the left knee a little bit more? Lifting up. Let's bend the elbows at that 90-degree angle. So cactus arms, squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Get that nice opening at the chest without necessarily puffing it up. So keep the upper ribs knitting in. Re-extend the arms straight up. And let's open to warrior two. So right foot turns parallel to the short edge of your mat. You're aligning your front heel to the middle of your back arch. Palms are facing down. Left knee is bending. Reverse your warrior, right hand down, left arm up. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale to extended side angle. Left fingertips down, right arm up and over, bicep along the ear. Reach through your right hand, press into that right foot. Try to draw that right shoulder back behind you to open the chest a little more. And we'll take our flow, so look down, palms to the floor. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's extend our right leg up towards the sky. Keep it straight and squared. And then step that foot forward in between the hands. We're coming back into our high lunge. So arms extend up. Bend the right knee and drop the hips. From this high lunge, we're gonna open up into a twist. So bring your right hand back, left hand forward. Palms are facing down towards the floor. So your right leg is probably gonna wanna straighten here. See if you can bend it a little bit more. And try not to tilt forward over that right thigh. Pull the right shoulder back. Drop the hips, and let's reverse. Right hand to the inside of your left thigh, left arm up. So a little bit of a back bend and a side body stretch. Carefully plant your left hand down to the floor, right arm up. Take your easy twist, and we're gonna go from here into wild thing. So roll to the outer edge of your left foot. You're gonna step your right toes back behind you and reach your right arm up and back. Pressing into the legs to lift the hips and lift the chest while reaching the arms back. Take one more breath. And let's slowly come back to downward facing dog with control. Lift your hips, reach through the heels. Take your flow. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Second side, left leg up, straight and squared. Step it through, crescent lunge. Feet are hip width distance apart, arms extend up. From here into our twist. So this time, right arm forward, left arm back, palms are facing down. Feel that left shoulder draw back as you open up your chest a little more. And re-bend your left knee if you notice that it started to straighten a little bit. Let's reverse from here. Left hand to the right thigh, right arm up. Right hand will come down to the floor. Easy twist, left arm up. Engage your core as we go from here to wild thing. So you need to roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Step your left toes back behind you and reach your left arm up and over. Try not to hold your breath. Clench the jaw. And let's make our way to down dog. Lifting the hips. Take your vinyasa. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Let's reach our right leg up towards the sky. Step it forward in between the hands. We're coming in warrior one. So left foot needs to spin at a 45-degree angle or so. Arms will reach up. Press the hips forward and down. Keep reaching through that back heel. Hands on your hips. Let's straighten the right leg and bring your back toes in a little bit. We'll set up for pyramid pose, but opening the chest a little more so you can reverse your prayer hands at the back. So either bringing the palms together to touch and drawing the elbows back. If that doesn't work, you can keep your fingertips pointing straight down or just hold on to opposite elbows. Try to get the entire palm of the hand pressing in towards each other. Press into both feet evenly as you inhale, lift and look up. And on the exhale, fold forward. Trying to lift the elbows and lift the shoulders. Keeping the hips squared. Soften your neck. Let's release fingertips to the floor. Start to bend into your right knee a little bit. Slide your left toes back and we'll take our vinyasa. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ready for the second side. Left leg up. And let's step it forward for warrior one. So right foot at a 45-degree angle. Arms reach up and lift up. Pressing your hips forward and down. So engage your core, feel the chest open. We're gonna bring our hands on our hips, straighten the left leg and bring your back foot in just a couple inches for pyramid pose. So square off to the front of the mat. Either do your reverse prayer. Fingertips can point up, point down, or you can just hold on to opposite elbows if that's more comfortable. As you inhale, lift and lengthen. And on the exhale, hinge at the waist and fold forward. Take this completely out of the neck. See if you can press your hands in together a little bit more firmly. And we'll bring our fingertips to the floor. Bend your left knee, wiggle the right toes back a little, and take your vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. From this downward dog, let's lower down onto our knees. We're gonna set up for a camel pose sequence, and because we're gonna be on our knees for a little while, you might want to fold up your mat a couple times just so you have some extra padding. It's completely optional. You can always roll up a blanket or a towel underneath you as well, and that would work fine. We want our knees to be directly underneath of our hips. And I like to keep my toes curled under. I feel like that's a more stable way of doing the pose, but if you prefer to have your toes pointed back, that works as well. Most important thing here is that we keep lengthening the tailbone down, pulling the lower belly in so we can stay nice and long through the lower back. What we want to avoid is tipping the pelvis forward and bending from here, causing this big crease. It's not going to be comfortable and it probably will hurt. So instead, lengthen down, lift out of the lower back, and we want to find our back bend here in the upper part of our body. So we're going to keep our left hand on our hip, and as you inhale, you're going to reach your right arm all the way forward and then all the way back as you take your back bend, and then finish off your circle as you lift up. Let's go do the other side. So right hand on your hip, core strong. Inhale, left arm forward, all the way back, all the way to the side, and lift it back up. Coming into our full camel pose here. First option is to keep your hands at your heart, lifting up through the chest, and then going up and then over into your back bend. Stay here if you'd like, or you can release one or both hands on the ankles. Try to keep your hips pretty close to being over the top of your knees. Deep breaths. Only letting go of the head if that's okay for your neck. One more inhale in the chest. If your hands were on your heels, you need to bring 1 and then 2. Use your core to lift yourself back up to center, and then set your hips on your heels, unfold your mat if that's what you were doing. And we're gonna release that pose with rabbit pose. So keep your legs that same distance apart. You can curl your toes under again. Grab a hold of your heels, and then you're gonna bring the crown of your head down towards the mat as you try to lift your hips off of your heels. This should feel really, really good, like a nice stretch into the lower back, especially after doing that deep back bend in camel pose. And let's release, take a child's pose, big toes together. Keep the arms alongside the body, folding for 5 breaths. And let's lift the chest back up. You're just gonna slide directly onto your belly. So legs are back behind you. We're gonna extend both arms forward. Palms are facing in towards one another. Back of the neck is long. As you inhale, lift your head and your arms and chest off the ground. Keep the feet pressing into the floor. Exhale to lower. Forehead grounds down. Lower body only. Inhale, lift the legs. Exhale to release. Inhale, upper body lifts. Exhale to let go. Lower body only. Inhale, lift the legs. Exhale to soften down. Last set. Inhale, upper body. Exhale to lower. Inhale, legs up. Exhale to release. Let's keep our right arm forward exactly the way that it is right now. You're going to bend into your left knee and catch a hold of your left foot with your hand. So this is half bow, half locust pose. Start with the upper body. So really keep your knees in towards each other, hip width distance apart. As you inhale, lift your chest and your arm as if you were doing locust pose. And then you're gonna press that left foot in towards the hand and lift the legs as well. So holding here for 3 full breath cycles, in and out through the nose. Back of the neck stays long. Don't let the knees open up too wide. Keep reaching and extending. And let's release. Switching sides, left arm forward. Catch a hold of your right foot with your right hand. Back of the neck is long. Inhale, upper body lifts up. And then press the foot to the palm and lift the legs. Keep your gaze steady. One more inhale, lengthen. And exhale, release. Let's bring our palms back underneath the chest. Press back into your downward facing dog. So take a moment here in this down dog, paddle the feet, shake out the hips. Reach your chest towards your thighs. We'll take our final little flow before we start to close our practice. Let's extend our right leg up towards the sky, bend the right knee, open up that hip nice and wide. Scoop your right knee in towards the belly and carefully step it forward to the top of the mat. We're gonna come up into our high lunge, arms reach up, back heel is off the floor. Bring your palms in towards one another, shift your gaze up, a little bit of a back bend, still bending into your right knee. Come all the way back up to center. So a little more challenging. Let's engage the arms and the core, interlace your fingers back behind you, draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. And as you start to tilt forward, you're gonna come into warrior 3 from here. So keep the arms interlaced behind you, balance on your right leg, and extend your left leg up and back. Reach the knuckles towards the heels. Start to bend into your right knee. Carefully drop the left toes to the floor. Let's plant our hands down to the mat. Step your right foot back next to the left. Keep the feet hip-width distance apart. We're going to side plank to the right. Heels go to the right. Lean on your right hand. Left arm up. Press and lift your hips as much as you can. Let's reach our left fingertips forward towards the top of the mat, and then plant the left palm to the ground. Take your flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press to the heels. So let's extend our left leg up towards the sky. Bend the left knee, open up that hip. We're gonna pull our knee in towards our chest. Step it forward into your high lunge. Back heel is lifted, arms extend up. Drop the hips down and we'll take that little back bend. So hands come together to touch. Lifting the gaze up. Left knee is still bending. Try to lift up through the chest. Come all the way back to center. We're gonna open up the arms and interlace our fingers behind our back the more unusual way, so the other thumb on top. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Start to hinge forward at the hips and lift up into your warrior three. So you're gonna stand on your left leg. Right leg reaches up and back. Strong core as you pull the lower belly in. Back of the neck stays long. Keep your right thigh rolling down so both hips are even at the same height. Feel the stretch in the chest. Bend into your left knee, right toes down, palms to the floor. Step back to plank pose with your feet hip-width distance apart. Heels go to the left. Lean on your left hand and extend your right arm up for side plank. Lift the hips up higher. Reach your right fingertips towards the front of the mat and then roll all the way so the palm comes down. Heels lift up. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From this down dog, let's set our knees down to the floor. Keep your hips over the tops of your knees. We're gonna come back into puppy pose, but doing it a little bit differently this time. So walk your palms forward again, but this time you're gonna press your hands towards one another, bend the elbows, and rest your hands towards the back of the neck or back of the head. Two more full deep breaths. Press the chest to the floor. Let's straighten the arms. We're gonna slide all the way onto our belly again, taking a laying chest opener. So you'll want to bring your right arm straight out to the side. Keep your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder pretty much all in the same long line. And then you're gonna roll onto that right hip, right shoulder, and right ear. Bend into the knees, and if you'd like to take this further, you can step your left toes back behind you and maybe even reach your left hand towards your lower back. One more full breath in the pose. If the left hand was on the lower back, just bring it back. Make your way onto your belly. And we'll switch sides. So this time the left arm will extend out to the side. Keep the joints in line. Roll onto your left hip, left shoulder, and left ear. Bend the knees and use your right hand either to press into the floor, or you can step your right foot back behind you and maybe rest your right hand towards your lower back to open up a little deeper. Your last breath in here. And then right hand comes back to the floor. Roll onto the belly. We'll take our final heart opener. Slide your forearms to the ground and either just take Sphinx pose, so keeping the elbows down, or you can finish off with seal pose, walking the hands as much as is comfortable, pulling the heart forward. So no compression whatsoever in the lower back. Keep reaching your tailbone towards the heels. Pressing down into the toes. Take one more breath. And let's release. Press back up, just so we can swing our legs forward and lower back down. Let's straighten the left leg. Bring your right knee in towards your belly and take it over into a twist. Just 5 breaths here. Twists are a wonderful way to get rid of any tension you might be feeling in your lower back. Come all the way back to center, and let's switch sides. Pull your left knee in, right leg goes straight, and take it over into a twist. So left knee goes to the right side of your mat, left arm reaches out. Press your left shoulder down. Unwind. Make your way into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Stretch out the arms and the legs. Take up lots of space. And as you settle in here, really focus in on the upper body. Feel the difference in the chest, the shoulders and the upper back. So hopefully there's a bit more space there after our practice together. Stay longer in Shavasana if you'd like. Otherwise, breathe deeply into the chest and into the belly. Re-energizing your body until you can make little movements, wiggling fingers and toes, turning the head side to side. Waking up even more by reaching the arms up overhead, taking a long, deep stretch. Bend both knees. And let's just roll to one side. Use your arms to help yourself up. And just take a comfortable seat, cross-legged or kneeling. Sit up tall. Close the eyes. Let's finish our practice with one breath together. Hands join at the heart. Take an inhale through the nose and out the mouth. Bending forward from the hips. Together we say Namaste. Thank you so much for doing this class with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll participate with another class with me soon.